worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing Your song again. Whatever may pass, and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening's come. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship Your holy name. Lord, I worship Your holy name.
I kindly request our dignitaries to take the seat there on stage. Now I invite Reverend Dr. Bilju Arpili, Secretary of the MEPC Conference, to welcome us all.
Respected distinguished dignitaries and participants of the MEPC 17th Symposium, a warm good morning to all of you. Good morning. As you know, since 2009, Marymatha Major Seminary has been conducting the symposia in the series of MEPC, Marymatha Encounters of Pastoral Challenges, in order to fulfill the following objectives of our seminary. First, equip the seminarians, the future ministers of the church, to theologically respond to the concrete ecclesial and social realities. Second, to function as a theological platform where theologians from various theological institutes meet together to discuss the intercultural and interreligious concerns of theology. The affiliation of Marymatha Major Seminary with the Faculty of Theology and Religious Studies, Katholieke Universiteit Leuven, Belgium, facilitates better realization of these objectives. The situation of Christian youth migration is complex and varies depending on the specific context. This significant phenomenon has far-reaching consequences for both the church and the society today. It has a story with two sides. Significant changes demanding attention alongside opportunities brimming with potential. Some of the challenges in this regard are disruption in a community's youth population, struggle to reconcile their previous cultural and religious identities with their new environment, etc., and social and economic hardships like social isolation, discrimination, feelings of alienation, racism, discouragement, family separation, and a sense of being lost. It is in this context Marymatha Major Seminary organizes the 17th International Symposium on the theme Christian Youth Migration, a crossroad of challenges and opportunities for the church and society today, in the series of Marymatha Encounters of Pastoral Challenges on 9th, 10th August 2024 as Scholars Conference and Practitioners Conference respectively. Yesterday and today, we are scholarly discussing on to what extent the church can contribute to a more compassionate and unified global community by fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment, empowering young leaders, and advocating for just policies. To facilitate these objectives aforementioned, yesterday in the Scholars Conference, the eminent speakers helped us a lot. Let me give a recap of yesterday's Scholars Conference. While inaugurating the conference, Professor Dr. Anil K.S., the Vice Chancellor of Pukod Veterinary University, opened the discussion on the challenges and opportunities of youth migration. Professor Dr. Luke Tadathil highlighted the biblical perspective of migration. Dr. Aljo Karerakatil illumined our thought by describing the diversity in migration, which is to be considered as an enrichment to the Catholicity of the Church. From an economical perspective, Dr. Abraham Mulamutil spoke about the nostalgia economy and Kerala diaspora, which is to be reimagined in the image of a turtle. Dr. Ami Kastil, professor from KU Leuven, calls migration as grafting in new growth, and it has different levels like preparing, connecting, securing, protecting the youth. By a thorough analysis of the recent church documents on migration, Dr. Shibi Kartikulakat, MCBS, facilitated us to widen our horizon regarding the theology of migration, which is a means of evangelization. Mar Joseph Pandarasheril, Auxiliary Bishop of Kottayam Archdiocese, concluded the Scholars Conference pointing out the different aspects of migration, and the church has to be more vigilant and supportive to the reality of youth migration in abroad. A big thanks and congratulations to all the speakers of the Scholars Conference. Let me come to the responsibility entrusted to me. Today, in the Practitioners Conference, we all together think and discuss the challenges and prospects of Christian youth migration. To facilitate us in this regard, with us and in our midst, we have our beloved Bishop Tony Neelangavil, the Auxiliary Bishop of Thrissur Archdiocese and the Vice Chairman of Marymatha Major Seminary. Your Excellency, His Excellency will give introductory words to this Practitioners Conference and enlighten us with his erudite introductory words. Beloved Bishop, hearty welcome to this conference. May I welcome very Reverend Dr. Sebastian Chalakal, Director of Marymatha Major Seminary, Reverend Dr. Paul Pulikan, Dean of Theology, Reverend Dr. Vincent Alapat, the Coordinator of 17th MEPC Symposium, and Brother Prince Arugakal, the brother in charge of this conference. Hearty welcome to each one of you. I would like to welcome today's eminent speakers, Dr. Julie P. Lassa from Bimala College, Sister Shipsy Augustine CMC from Bimala College, St. Mary's, Father Pradeep Mapranathugaran, Dr. Joby Kunnat CMI from Dharmaram Vidya Kshetram, Bangalore, and our deacons, Deacon Tom Tadikaran and Deacon Jidin Nallanikod VC from Marymatha. Hearty welcome to all the eminent speakers. My sincere welcome goes to today's panelists, Anila Thomas, Vinnie Polsi, Anil K. Davis, Professor Unni CJ, and Vijoy Varghese. Hearty welcome to each one of the panelists. I would also like to welcome today's moderators, Sister Dr. Mary Juliet CMC, Dr. Roby Kundanil, and Dr. Sebastian Chalakal. Hearty welcome to this conference. I would like to welcome the staff and students of this seminary and other institutions, the students from the Institute of Theology, Thrissur, as well as the students from Bimala College, day scholars, 6-month theology course students. Hearty welcome to all to this international conference. Dear participants, the situation of Christian youth migration is complex and multifaceted. However, by understanding the challenges and opportunities at hand, the church can play a pivotal role in supporting young migrants on their journeys. By creating a welcoming environment, fostering leadership development, and promoting social justice, the church can empower young migrants to become agents of positive change in the church and the society, enriching both the church and society as a whole. Let our hearts and minds be illumined with the presentations and discussions of this day. May I wish you all a fruitful and successful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bilju Father, for welcoming us. I kindly welcome you to this conference. As the psalmist says, "O send out your light and your truth. Let them lead me and bring to your holy dwelling." I now call upon our very own shepherd, His Excellency Martoni Nilankavil, to light the lamp and address the audience. I also invite the other dignitaries on the stage. I welcome the general prefects of both theology and philosophy and the representative of SMTC students to join the lighting ceremony. Kindly be seated for the introductory address of this day.
Good morning. How are you? Respected dignitaries on the stage and respected speakers of the day, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, and my dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. Marymatha Encounters of Pastoral Challenges, MEPC, reminds me of wonderful memories because I happened to be instrumental in beginning this series of conferences. From its very inception, MEPC has been very prophetic in addressing some of the most pertinent pastoral challenges. At a time when pastoral realities were not scientifically approached, systematically addressed, nor strategically tackled, in an era in which churches' age-old pastoral practices were taken for granted, solutions were not evaluated. MEPC showed the courage to critically look at pastoral realities and analyzed them from an interdisciplinary perspective, and that is why we have even sociologists among speakers. In order to arrive at paradigm shifts in pastoral approaches and also to arrive at concrete pastoral plans. Our intention always to arrive at concrete pastoral steps to be taken led us to develop another research institute here, Paroch Research Institute. It is the research organ of the Marymatha Major Seminary. I said we have taken up some very, we have taken up prophetically, looking at the future. I don't know whether my definition of prophetic is correct or not, but at least according to the will of the, try to look through the eyes of the Lord, some of the challenges which were not very common those days in the discussions in the seminaries. I recall just two. One, for example, feminine identity in the church. Perhaps this was the seminary which has taken that particular topic very seriously from an interdisciplinary point of view for the first time in India. I claim that because I searched those days. And it was again very revolutionary those days. In the entire conference, where we had some 12 papers, all the papers except one were presented by women theologians from all over India. So that was a very revolutionary step in a seminary. Seminary is known for a place for men. You normally see only men here or boys. Now that has also some effects on the seminary atmosphere here. Now we have sisters studying here with us, along with fathers. We have now college girls attending this conference. Lot more interaction between and some way we try to incorporate co-education, whatever possible way, though still miles to go. Another very interesting topic we took up once was business ethics, which was thoroughly discussed also with business faculties or business studies, not only faculties of business studies, there were also great entrepreneurs, CEOs of multinational companies, dialoguing with theologians and pastoral practitioners. I just named two just to emphasize the importance of this conference. It has been always a platform for theologians from different countries to come together, both offline and online. Before we had the tradition, we in Kerala began the tradition of online conferences. From the very first conference on, we had live telecast of this conference all through. Of course, in the beginning, there was no video live telecasting. It was telecasted through internet radio, but it was accessible everywhere in the world. And we used to have questions and interactions from USA, Germany, Rome, Japan, and Philippines. So again, this has a lot of potentials which we should not forget to explore also in the coming years. Now coming to the topic we have been discussing from yesterday on, has also been very prophetic. We began organizing this conference maybe months back or a year before. But the recent events in India and abroad once again affirm how prophetic MEPC 17 is. MEPC is, and especially MEPC 17. The conflict between the so-called natives and migrants in UK give witness to the fact that a thoroughgoing interdisciplinary research into the migrant reality is an urgent socio-pastoral need today. I said the so-called natives. Who are the natives? It's a very serious question. I recall one of the short videos I saw in the YouTube some time back. You know, in a fine morning in a garden in USA, people were jogging. And there was a young man jogging, and he saw a young, beautiful lady, jogging and coming from the opposite direction. Was very attractive. She was very attractive. So after some time, he thought of getting in touch with her. They talked to each other, and he asked, because she looked very little bit East Asian, from her face, she looked different. The Chinese, Japanese, got small eyes and, different type of nose and so on. So this man asked, where are you from? And the lady replied, I'm from USA. Then he asked, no, I mean, where are you from? Then she said, I understand. I'm from Chicago. I'm from Bellwood. Then again, this person asked, no, what I mean is, where are you originally from? I'm from USA. I was born and brought up here. No, I mean, your parents originally from? Then she understood the question. She said, okay, my parents are from South Korea. Then she asked another question. He's obviously looked very European or very white, very, very much American, so to say. Still she asked, where are you from? Then she said, he said, I'm from America. No, I mean, where are you really from? He said, I'm also from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Then she asked again, where are you really from? He said, I'm from Chicago. He said, where are your parents originally from? Chicago. Where are your descendants from? Yeah, they are from Ireland. So this question is a very pertinent. Who are really the natives and who are the migrants. And from a theological point of view, we are all pilgrims. We don't have a permanent abode here on earth, and we can say that we are all migrants. We are all on the move. So coming back to, what I wanted to say was, this issue is very burning today. Now it's very much, it's at the point of, it has escalated to the point of a riot, still continuing in many cities in the UK. Even the age-old rivals of the Protestants and Catholics in the Northern Ireland have joined together to fight against the migrants communities today. It's a very serious sociological issue to be tackled, and for us, a socio-pastoral situation to be addressed. Again, a month before, we have already come across the Kerala migration study, KMS 2023. Perhaps Parok was the first research institute to organize a serious analysis of that document. Yesterday I heard one of the students from Vimala College was referring to KMS survey. I was so happy to see that your students are very up to date. I hope our students, seminarians sitting behind, have also come across KMS study already, because we are all in the same platform to address the social realities of Kerala. Now, this study also informs us the systematic escalation of migration, especially to Europe and North America, Canada, Australia, and so on the one hand, and the growing indication, and I think that is very revealing today, the growing indication of reverse migration in India and the state of Kerala in particular. So these two dimensions, it tells us the importance of the topic we discussed today. Now, church has been actively engaged in caring the migrants and preparing the societies for migration, both at the source and at the destination. Yesterday, you might, if you have attended conference yesterday, Dr. Shibi Kattikula Kattil had already explained to us the evolution of church's pastoral care for the migrant communities. As part of the reform of Roman Curia in 1912 by Pope Pius X, His Holiness has, of revered memory, instituted the Office for Migration Problems. Migration was seen those days as a problem to be addressed, not as an occasion, not as an opportunity, but as a problem. Later in 1970, Pope Paul VI instituted the Pontifical Commission for Pastoral Care of Migrants and Tourism. Again, migrants and tourism were treated together. But later, in the 1980s, we know that this congregation, this Pontifical Council was renamed as Pontifical Commission for Pastoral Care for the Migrants and Itinerant People. You see this broadening of the idea of pastoral care already in place in the church's explorations to migration. Interestingly, two of our bishops living today have worked in this Roman Vatican dicastery, Vatican Pontifical Council. One is from Thrissur, Bishop Anthony Chirayat, who was working as a senior secretary in this commission before he became a bishop. And another one was Archbishop Joseph Kalatiparampil, Archbishop of Varapulli, who has also worked in this commission, this council, later attached to the Congregation for Propagation of Faith. He was the secretary to that commission, that congregation. And presently this council is integrated to a new dicastery formed by His Holiness Pope Francis, which is dicastery for promoting integral human development. Some of you may be remembering one or two MEPC before. One of the keynote speakers was from this dicastery, one Reverend Dr. Josh Strom Kuritadam, a Salesian priest working very actively in this dicastery. Syro-Malabar Church is also very much engaged with migrant care. We have undergone several stages of migration, which I'm sure in some of the papers you will come across. The migration to Malabar, the migration to the interstate migration, the migration to the Gulf countries, etc., etc. And accordingly, Syro-Malabar Church, especially from its time as a synodal church, has taken up migrant care very seriously. Now we have a separate office in the Mount St. Thomas, which is actively involved in migrant care. The office is known as Commission for Evangelization and Pastoral Care of the Migrants. The result of their activities are seen in the migrant care in different parts of the world. Migrant care of the Syro-Malabar faithful in different parts of the world. Many of these migrant care have developed into dioceses, and hence we have Diocese of Mississauga, Canada, and Diocese of Bristol in UK, Diocese of Melbourne in Australia. We have also an apostolic visitation for the whole of Europe, which has its office in Rome. There are several migrant communities guided by this particular commission for evangelization. Some places which we may not very often recall. For example, one of the priests from the Archdiocese of Thrissur is working with the migrant community in Singapore. Another community is very active in South Africa, for example. Namibia, we have migrant communities and migrant care in different parts of the world. So we are not talking about something new. We are not trying to bring in something to a tabula rasa. We are already part of a legacy of pastoral care for the migrants already in place by the Catholic Church in Universal as well as in Kerala. I'm sure the conference will unveil some of the internal intricacies present in the phenomenon we discussed today. For example, the tension between the fundamentally Christian hospitality on the one hand and the organized attempts of extremist invasion on the other. I don't explain it, of course you will be discussing this further. The need to distinguish between migration on the one hand and refugees or forcibly displaced persons on the other. Whether we can consider them together or whether we should make a distinction. The cultural and intercultural implications of migration is again a very important area to be discussed. And related to that, we can also discuss the predicament of the second generation of the migrant communities, which is an area where I have been very much interested in. I've also written some papers in that direction. What about the identity of the second generation? Are they still migrants? Those who are born and brought up there in another country. Their parents were born in their mother country, but what about their children? What should be their identity? Now, the second generation migrants in United States of America call themselves as ABCD. You know what does it mean, ABCD? They call themselves as ABCD, which is the short form of American-born confused desis. Now, they are very much confused. At home, they are to behave like very obedient, very polite, very well-dressed, very devout girls, since girls are here. But in the campus, they have to be very different. Otherwise, they will be considered as a sect. People who are very foreign. While they are not foreign, they are actually, they are born and brought up in the United States of America, and they have imbibed all the sentiments of the American people, their classmates. Who are they? A very important question to be addressed, and also the pastoral care accordingly. It's not enough that we simply bring in Onam to Chicago or other remote places in the United States. You are celebrating Onam with kids who have never experienced Onam back home in Kerala, who never visited even Kerala. They have never been to Kerala, and still you force them to celebrate Onam. Is it just from our part? So there are several questions. Does it mean that they should forget their past, the past of their parents? So very serious issue where how we should be able to address. So there are several intercultural issues there to be discussed. Now I think I've talked too much, but still I want to share with you an experience I had few years back. I was dining with a Jesuit community in Frankfurt in Germany, and first time there, and I was with the Jesuits there, and the one who was serving us, like a table boy, he was not a boy, a very elderly person. When I looked at his face, I found him very familiar to me. After some time, I recognized who he was. He was a great professor of Islamic studies at the Gregorian University some years back. One Professor Christian Troll, an expert in Islam-Christian dialogue, whom I met in London, say, some 25 years before. I was so shocked. He was the key speaker in that international conference in London. And now I see him as, you understand what does it mean? Yeah. I see him as a table boy. Because I actually, after that conference, I began to, I had become his fan, and I was very closely following his publications, one of which is very famous, Muslims Ask, Christians Answer. But not like the apologetics today, who are very arrogant in discussing on other religions. He was very polite, very respectful of others, and was sharing what Christian faith is. Now, after his retirement, he was in his late 80s. Can you imagine? In his late 80s. And I thought I should talk to him after meal. We had a very wonderful discussion together. He told me, at this age, I find a great opportunity for me to discuss all what I taught in the universities in the streets of Frankfurt. Now that was the time when they had a lot of Muslim refugees. And those refugees, he said, I go out and talk to these refugees from Islamic countries, and he could very well help them get integrated into the German society. And he also got some occasion to share his faith, which was also wonderful. And he said, many of them have come to know Jesus Christ as the only Savior, and also found a welcoming church in the place where they are. Tells us that migration has always been a great challenge for the church, an issue to be tackled, at the same time an opportunity where church has a lot more to do, not only among the youth, also the migrants all over the world. With these words, and apologizing for the extra time I have taken, I declare this conference open.
Dear Bishop, your words were the spark we needed. Thank you for lighting up our minds. The stage is set, the minds are sharp. Let's unlock the doors to discovery. We are about to begin the first session of the day. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Sister Dr. Mary Juliet CMC, for guiding us through the discussions.
Good morning. So we are here for the talk on socio-economic implications of female international migration, a study on Kerala. The speakers of the first session are Dr. Julie P. Lasser and Sister Shipsy Catherine CMC. Dr. Julie P. Lasser is an associate professor in the Department of Economics at St. Mary's College, Thrissur. She did her graduation and post-graduation in from Sacred Heart College, Tevara, Kochi, and PhD from MG University, Kottayam. Sister Shipsy Catherine is the assistant professor in the Department of Sociology from St. Mary's College, Thrissur, and she did her PG in Sociology from Loyola College at Social Sciences, Trivandrum. At present, she is doing her PhD in MG University. Dear speakers, Hearty welcome, and the mic is over to you.
Warm good morning. At the outset, let me thank the authorities of the seminary for giving us an opportunity to present a paper on a very relevant topic of international migration. Respected chair and participants, all of you know that human beings have always had an instinct to migrate. Right the time we were hunter-gatherers, people moved from one place to another in search of food. Later, only with the discovery of agriculture, man started to have a settled life. And with modern developments in technology, better and advanced transportation and communication system, better job avenues, newer international policies, etc., people migrated from one place to that of the another. Rural to urban migration, migration from one state to that of the another, migration from developing to developed countries, migration from developed to developed countries are the modern or the present day forms of migration. While we speak about the migration here, and my topic is specifically on the migration in Kerala economy, we cannot divide a hard and fast rule between the impact of migration by the male as well as the female. It's all mixed up. This study is based on data from Kerala Migration Survey 2023 and also the data obtained from interactions with two categories of migrants. That is, migrants who have gone to foreign countries for the purpose of employment, and a newer generation who are going for the purpose of education. It is often said that there is a Keralite in every corner of the world, and they are well adapted to the foreign country. Just before, His Excellency Bishop has stated that we don't know what the next generation will say, that they are they the people of that particular country, or do they have the identity of our own state? These migrants are instrumental in the progress of Kerala. At the same time, they are very much accustomed to their destination country. Coming to the history of migration in Kerala, the first generation of migrants were in the early 20th century, where semi-skilled or quasi-skilled workers from the state moved to various parts of India, Ceylon, Malaya, Burma, Karachi, etc. They were taken mainly by the Britishers to work in their plantations. The second wave after the Second World War was to the cities of Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras, and the other countries of Malaysia, Singapore, etc. They were mainly high school educated, semi-skilled workforce. The third wave of migration consisted of people with technical skills and professional training. Mainly these people moved to major cities like Bombay as well as Madras, and it was a pathway to move to the Gulf countries. the fourth wave, the people migrated to the Gulf. During that period, oil economy was boosted in the Gulf region, and due to the shortage of labor force, these people migrated to the Gulf, and also there were large income were obtained from these countries. And again, a group of nurses from the southern and central part of Kerala migrated to the Gulf regions, and some to the USA and the European countries during this period. From 1993 onwards, there was large-scale migration from the northern districts of Kerala, particularly Malappuram and Kannur. The qualified professionals, the engineers, doctors, IT professionals to various parts of Europe, and the increasing immigration to the US by the family network of nurses who has previously migrated. Since 2000, there's a trend in return migrants from the Middle East. Due to the nationalization policies in Saudi Arabia and various other countries, there is a tendency of people to come back to the Kerala, that is the return immigrants. By 2015, there is a significant change in the pattern of migration. A major shift has emerged. People are migrating to destinations other than the conventional ones. Earlier, people from Kerala mainly migrated to the Gulf countries or the GCC countries. Now there is a shift with respect to migration. Kerala faces a paradoxical situation. People of Kerala, in search of better life and livelihood, are moving to various other parts of the world. Whereas Kerala is in need of skilled, unskilled, and semi-skilled labor, people from northeast and northern parts of the country are coming to Kerala, and they find Kerala as their Gulf. Now, looking into the total immigrants from Kerala, you can see that there has been a continuous increase, though the increase has been rather slow in the recent years. The data from 1998 shows that there is around 2.2 million people who have migrated to various other countries. There is a slowdown during a period 2013 to 2018. Now, looking into the region-wise distribution of immigrants, you can see that the north region, that is the region comprising of Kannur, Kasaragod, Kozhikode, Malappuram, and Wayanad, has the largest percentage of immigrants from the country, followed by central Kerala, including Thrissur, Ernakulam, Palakkad, Kottayam, and Idukki districts are second, followed by the southern region. And largest number of immigrants are from Malappuram district, and Tirur in Malappuram district has the largest number of immigrants. With respect to male-female immigration, you can see that from the 15.8% female immigrants, it has increased to 19.1%. The females are migrating, and the world is now terming it as feminization of migration. Male migrants dominate the migration field, but the disparity between the male and the female is lower in case of Kottayam district and maximum in the case of Malappuram district. This may be attributed to the increased number of migrants in the form of nurses and other medical professionals moving to USA, Europe, and the other countries from the Kottayam, from the central Kerala, and you have the Gulf migrants from the Malappuram district. In the working age category, the female migrants are between the age group 25 to 44, whereas the male, it is from 25 to 60. With respect to country of residence of immigrants, you can see that there is a decline in the percentage of immigrants going to the Gulf countries. From around 94% in 1998, the percentage has declined to around 80 in 2023 Kerala Migration Survey. This indicates that people are more interested. There is a tendency for more people to move to other countries of Europe, America, New Zealand, Australia, and so on. destination countries, GCC versus non-GCC, you can have a look at the gender-wise disparity. The male population, around 85.4% are moving to the GCC countries, whereas nearly 60% of females are moving to the GCC countries. The gender gap is less in the case of females with respect to GCC as well as the non-GCC countries. Among the GCC countries, the migration is mainly to the United Arab Emirates, followed by Saudi Arabia as well as Qatar. And with respect to non-GCC countries, UK has the maximum number of migrants from Kerala. And you can see that too, there is an increase in the female migrants compared to that of male migrants. Only 4% of male migrants are moving to UK, whereas the female migrants, it is around 14.7, nearly 15%. And other parts of Europe, Germany, France, Austria, etc., comprises 3.1%, Canada 2.5, US 2.2, and then comes Australia. With respect to international student migration, which is the current trend, you can see that Ernakulam has the highest number of migrant students, followed by our own district, Thrissur and Kottayam. Wayanad has the lowest number of migrants. 54% of student migrants from Kerala are males, and around 46% are females. Again, the gender disparity between this student migration is less compared to the general migration, where males have 80% and females are only nearly 20%. Now coming to the reasons, as my topic is specifically on female migration, reasons for female migration, the traditional concept, why does our females migrate? They are mainly for a better job. Often in a country like India, we give due respect to women. But on the side of job or other things, the women are generally considered as a weaker sex. So for the better job opportunities, mainly at that time, the women went mainly for two types of jobs. One is working as a nurses or in the medical field, and the other as a caretakers in various households in the Gulf region. Second one is definitely to improve the financial status. These women folk has a greater burden on their families to earn good income, to clear off their debts, increase savings for house construction, marriage of their own children or their siblings, medical treatment, and so on. So financial is a major reason for the Gulf migration. And thirdly, to have a good social status. The present reason for increasing female student migration, education. Though we say that the main cause is for better education or diversity in the field of education, we don't know how far it is true. They often say that the famous universities are there, so they are going for better quality education. But you can see that how many of these students are going to that particular university like Harvard, Oxford, or Stanford. How many students are moving to that universities? Often the colleges they are joining are much inferior to the colleges in our country. Then job, earn while you learn. That is a major concern, that majority of the students who are moving out of the country, the main objective is earn while you learn, which is not a scenario in our country. Often even we being the educated community, when our students go for a job after our college hours, we do have a concern how far they are going to cope up with the studies or how far they are secure, etc. Then the students need independence. Not only the students, everyone prefer independence, inclusivity. There's no gender disparity over there, better lifestyle, freedom from social stigmas, well-organized public life, and equity, justice, and better opportunity. Though they say that they migrate for education, actually there are a bunch of reasons behind that. With respect to remittances, I'm moving to the implications. Everyone is moving abroad. They have an eye on the returns. They have an eye on the income. While a family is sending a person abroad, other than studies, for employment, they have an eye on the remittances, on the income earned. And Kerala economy stands on the remittances. Remittances are the backbone of NSDP of Kerala. Around 23%, nearly a quarter of Kerala's GDP is based on the remittances of the persons who are working abroad. So it's a concern it should be a concern of the government and the policy makers about the welfare of the immigrants from the country. From 1.3 million, you can see that there has been considerable increase in the remittances, and the percentage increases in terms of funds coming into the state. Remittances as a percentage of GDP, initially it has increased, then slowed down, and now it is on the rise to 23.2% of the GDP. How these remittances are supporting us? It has improved the lives and livelihood of many families. People are moving from one social strata to another social strata. It has been able to increase the consumption levels. People have been spending a lot. Moreover, the remittances are not only for their own families, but for the extended families also. Not the son, daughter, or the husband of the family gets the remittance, gets the benefit from the remittances. It definitely goes to the extended families. The remittances has its negative side also. There has been increase in the conspicuous consumption, the imitative nature of consumption, the demonstration effect. All these are the negative effect of remittances. Moreover, the reckless spending or the mismanagement of resources has led to unproductive use of the remittances, steep hike in the land prices, the gold prices, and whatever it is. There are indirect impacts, though these are not fully guided by remittances, but again, a good percentage of this developments in the field of retail shops, showrooms, shopping malls, diversity in the product ranges, from the food items to textiles, automobiles, etc. This migrant population plays a very important role. Years back, while meeting a person from Malappuram, it was said that the hotels in the Malappuram area are closed during the time of Ramzan, Lent. But once they open up in the evening, they say that they make the same food items which is served in the Gulf. The families of the Gulf immigrants, they come to have food in that particular hotel. So that means there is a conspicuous consumption pattern and there is a demonstration effect through this flow of remittances. There has been change in the savings and investment pattern. You can see that apart from the traditional investment patterns like purchasing of land, gold, building, etc., real estate, etc., now there has been a change in the stock markets, mutual fund investments, etc. And a new trend in the remittances. Earlier, when the males migrate, their families were here. Females migrated, their families were here. But now the new trend in migration is that the families also accompanied the migrant. So what happens is that these people are making investments in the destination countries. They are purchasing houses or they are making investments in the destination countries. A lot of people who have migrated to UK, They say that they are buying houses in UK because they say that if they are staying on rent also, they have to make certain payments in that place. So why don't we buy a house? We can pay or clear off the debts with our salaries. So remittances flowing to Kerala are less in the new system. Other impact of immigration is that the promotion of education. The people from educationally backward classes, once their families migrate, they can get good quality education. The growth of English medium schools, that is a previous notion. Now there are variety of schools, residential schools offering various types of curricular and co-curricular activities. Mushrooming growth of higher education institutions, propagation of innovative skill-based courses, and foreign language learning, coaching centers for IELTS, OET, etc. Another feature is the healthcare boom to the form of development of super specialty hospitals, domination of old age care homes, the high cost of medical treatment, above all, the HDI of Kerala. Kerala is #1 state within the HDI in the country. That is the repercussion of the people or the remittances from abroad. The human capital. There is a considerable brain drain, lack of investment in the productive sectors. The highest wage rate in the informal sector. Kerala has the highest wage rate in the informal sector. The paradox is that people of Kerala are working abroad. The remittances are coming to our state. And these remittances are going to the Gulf, going to the other states as salaries for these people. The demography, the decline in fertility, mortality, working population, increased dependency on in-migrants, and so on. Increased proportion of lonely elderly population. The locked houses in Pathanamthitta and Kottayam districts are the symbol of this. Women empowerment. The women have self-esteem, economic independence, better skills. They have an independent decision-making body. Time is short, that's I'm moving fast. A question, are women really empowered? Are these immigrant women really empowered? Many of these women were unmarried, and often what happened was that the unmarried women remained so to support their parents and their siblings. And the married women, they had to leave back their children as well as leave back their families. The remittances they earned were used to clear off the debts and incurred by the family for the marriage of siblings, construction of houses, etc. These women had only limited knowledge of the investment. And again, the husbands of these women were unemployed mainly. They enjoyed all luxuries of life from the remittances. The women had to work long years. They spent their life in the Gulf countries or any other country. But what happened is that once they returned back, they are with nothing. But again, they had to continue working in the state also. They face discrimination from the households. They are just considered as money-making machines. They are voiceless. The problems faced at destination countries, the new generation of migrants, they were going abroad, taking huge funds of money from the banks. So they do part-time jobs beyond the specified time limit. They neglect their education. Often they don't complete their education. They face issues like loneliness, financial constraints, academic expectations put a heavy toll on their body, health, physical and mental health. Exploitation and abuse by the employers, by the co-workers, by the colleagues. Compared to men, the women are more vulnerable to abuses both from employment agencies as well as the employers. And again, there is a paradigm shift in the new migration trends. The new migration, it's a multi-dimensional subject which need discussions from all walks of life, social, political, economic, cultural, everywhere. The migrants who are moving abroad, they are joined by their families, and the remittances are less. Earlier, when the people migrated to the Gulf, they had a close contact with the family. At least once in a year, they come back to the family. Or during a time of any disaster in the family, they come back. But now the situation has changed. The flow of remittances is again on the declining trend. The people have migrated to the non-GCC countries. They are for the permanent residency or for the citizenship. Loss of precious human resource, a brain drain in the new context, that there is not only a brain drain, but also a physical drain. A physical resource is also being lost. Decline in the culture and values. The decline in working population in the total population of the country. Lack or loosening of the family relations. The isolation faced by the old parents, often forced to move to old age centers. It was once stated that in Gulf migration, it is people out and money in. And now it is people out and money also out. And finally, a matter of concern that needs to be addressed. What we can do to reduce, or what we can do to prevent our population leaving the state. Better living standards, safety and security, diverse and quality education, entrepreneurial development, employability, skill formation, change in social attitudes. Living standards can be improved. Safety and security, especially for the women folk. The women who want to work, they can work day and night. Whenever they are traveling, some security should be provided. Government or other organizations cannot give employment to everyone. Entrepreneurial skills may be developed. Startups may be developed. Credits may be facilitated for entrepreneurial development. Change in the attitude of the society for education, for employment, freedom and independence. Social welfare. This is the next generation, or the students, or even we can think over how we can preserve our next generation or this generation from moving out. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Julie P. Lasser and Sister Shipsy Catherine, for your detailed survey on Kerala migration. And you really narrated in its first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, and large scale of migration with its new trends. So thank you for both of you. Now the floor is open. We have 10 minutes for discussions or some suggestions, clarifications, etc. Okay, Father Jose. So question, please precise the question, then many will get chance.
I don't know if my question going to be very relevant to your paper. So one thought I came to my mind, I am sharing with you, asking that question. So you discussed about the various issues of migrants, people who migrate to other places. So I don't know whether you have thought about the impact of the migrants on the home country, Kerala, with regards to the agriculture and the workforce in our place, because most of the people are migrated, brain drain, therefore our fields are, marshy places like that, and so on. So what do you think about the negative impact of migrants on the various issues like agriculture, workforce, and so on. And then also the family issues. I think you mentioned about that, the broken families and so on. Thank you. Anyway, thank you very much. Very good paper. Thank you.
Regarding the loss of workforce, I just mentioned over here, I just went it over a bit fast due to the time constraint. The productivity in Kerala has become very less. And with respect to Father's question on agriculture and other sectors, definitely now we can see people from north and northeast, especially we call them Bengalis, coming to Kerala to work. And it was previously cited in the newspapers that now instead of Kerala's folk songs, Bengali songs are being sung on Kerala's agricultural paddy fields. This shows that people are moving out of our country. At the same time, we are requesting people from north and northeast to come and work for us. The same is with respect to industrial sector also. We can see that the workforce, if we move around the Thrissur area itself, you can see in majority of the shops, even in big textile shops, we can see that there are people from other states working over there. So that's the impact of the migration. Moreover, the family relations, I just had a mention over here. Earlier, people used to come at least once in a year, or especially the Gulf, the women had a contact with the families over here. But now the situation has drastically changed because they are very busy with their lives and they are having all the leisures over there at workplace. They are having limited contact with the family. And moreover, the old parents, that is, I told about the symbol of the old locked houses. You can see, that means old parents are alone in the houses with a dog. I don't know whether it is right I am saying that is with a dog or with a Bengali, the old parents are left alone in the houses. It's a time we think over that. I think I have answered your question, Father. Thank you, sir.
Madam, with your permission, I give and allow the participants, if you have any question, you can ask in Malayalam also. So taking that as an opportunity, I would ask you a question. ഈ അന്യനാടുകളിലേക്ക് കുടിയേറി പാർത്തുപോയ മാതാപിതാക്കൾ ഇവിടെ വന്ന് താമസിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം അവരവരുടെ മക്കൾ അന്യനാടുകളിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നതിന് അത്ര പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. അതേസമയം മറ്റുള്ളവരാണ് കൂടുതൽ പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഡു യു ഫൈൻഡ് എനി ഡിസ്പ്രപ്പോർഷണാലിറ്റി ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് റിഗാർഡ്?
അന്യനാടുകളിൽ നമ്മൾ പാരൻസ് പോയവർക്ക് അവർക്ക് അതിൻ്റെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകൾ അറിയാം. ഇപ്പോൾ ഗൾഫിലെ പാരൻസൊക്കെ ആദ്യകാലങ്ങളിൽ പോയവർക്കൊക്കെ അതിൻ്റെ കോൺസിക്വൻസസ് അവർക്ക് നന്നായിട്ട് അറിയാം. അപ്പോൾ അവരതിനെ എൻകറേജ് ചെയ്യില്ല. പിന്നെ ഇപ്പം അങ്ങനത്തെ ട്രെൻഡ് കാണുന്നത് ഇപ്പോൾ ഗൾഫിൽ പോയിട്ട് വന്ന പാരൻസ് ആയാലും അവരുടെ കുട്ടികളെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ മക്കളെ അവർ ഈ മറ്റുള്ള യൂറോപ്യൻ കൺട്രീസിലേക്കോ അമേരിക്കൻ കൺട്രീസിലേക്കൊക്കെ വിടാനായിട്ട് ശ്രമിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ തന്നെ കേരളത്തിന് ഗൾഫിൽ പോയ ചില പാരൻസായിട്ട് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അവരവിടെ നിന്ന് തന്നെ, അതായത് അവർ ഗൾഫിലാണ്, അവരവരുടെ മക്കളെ അമേരിക്കയിലേക്കും കാനഡയിലേക്കൊക്കെയാണ് വിടുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ നല്ലതാണ്, കുറച്ചും കൂടെ നല്ലതിനേക്കാൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്ക് അവർ ഗൾഫിലാന്ന് പറയുന്ന സോഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റാറ്റസ് ഇപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് കുറവാണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ അതിനേക്കാളും കുറച്ചും കൂടെ നല്ല സോഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റാറ്റസ് ആൾക്കാർ ചിന്തിക്കുന്നത് യൂറോപ്പിലും അമേരിക്കയിലാണെന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അത് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു കാഴ്ചപ്പാടിൻ്റെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ്.
My name is Jason George, Institute of Theology. I wish to know what is the socio-political reason for the reduced rate of migration during the period from 2013 to 2018.
That is mainly the Gulf migration due to the nationalization policies taking place in the Saudi Arabia, the Takat movement, etc. The labor force mainly they are taking from their own country. And only after that, the other trend in migration increased. That's why. Nationalization policies in the Gulf countries. And from 2009 to 13, etc., there was a global economic crisis was also a factor. Many of them had to lose their jobs. So they had to return migrants was on the increase.
I appreciate both of you because your contributions were exuberant to the symposium. My question: when women become primary breadwinners through migration, how are traditional gender roles being redefined within families and communities? Are there any negative impacts, such as marital tensions or conflicts over decision making, of smooth going of a family? And in the economic aspects, as we heard here, what do you think when females become the central consumers of the economy? What will be the socio-economic impact of these two realms?
I think the first question is with regard to what is the impact on women. There are families where women are migrating for life and livelihood, mainly for job. And they are working over there. They are earning much. They are the breadwinners, they are earning, they are sending the remittances to the state. But the thing is that all their money is spent over here. They are working somewhere else. They are working as caretakers in some country. And in their absence, their family is being run by someone else. These remittances are not spent and they are not, these women are often voiceless. Their needs are not being met. That's why they face very strong exploitation even after their return also. The funds are not properly invested. While even though they earned enough and they come back to the state, they don't have any single penny in their hands. Lot of cases are there. The women again, they are going to work as domestic labor or in the nurses of nearby hospitals, etc. And with regard to the second question, regarding the women being a force spending.
When women become the central consumers of the economy, what
yes,
will be
women
the
being center of consumption in the economy, definitely that is especially in the case of when males are migrating and females are here. You can see that there's a change in the expenditure pattern. I had mentioned that a point of demonstration effect, the conspicuous consumption, etc. Overspending is being done in the form of gold or consumption of household durables, etc. The saving pattern is not much because expenditure pattern is being increasing. These women said that the women have become efficient managers. To an extent, they are saving, but to a greater extent, the expenditure has been on the increase.
Due to lack of time, now we will stop this first presentation. Thank you, Professor Julie P. Lasser and Sister Shipsy Catherine, for your beautiful presentation, and thank you for those who asked questions. Yeah, that's why. Okay. So thank you. Now you can take your seats. Now let us go to the next paper. In the absence of Father Pradeep Mapranuthakaran, Father Bilju Varapalli, along with Tom Thadikaran and Jidin Nellani Kodvesi, leads the session on Catholic youth migration, challenges and opportunities for the church and society. So now the mic is over to you.
Hearty welcome to the paper presentation on Catholic youth migration, challenges and opportunities for the church and society. Presentation of a paper on the diaconate project in the Archdiocese of Thrissur. I sincerely and gratefully acknowledge the erudite scholarship of Father Pradeep Mapranuthakaran and Father Sajan Maroki and our enormous work done by our respected deacons. Yeah, just to give an applause to the deacons. Father Pradeep Mapranuthakaran and myself initiated the diaconal project this year in the seminary. The paper has 4 parts. Introduction and concluding part will be presented by me. Deacon Jidin Nallanikod VC will present the methodology of the paper. Deacon Tom Tadikaran will explain the analysis of the survey done. In the Archdiocese of Thrissur, youth migration has profound effects not only on the individual migrants but also on the broader community, influencing social structures, economic conditions, and cultural continuity. This scientific work explores the multifaceted challenges associated with youth migration within the Archdiocese of Thrissur. By examining the underlying factors driving migration and its impacts on both the migrants and their communities, this study seeks to provide a nuanced understanding of the phenomenon. The analysis will also consider the role of the Church in addressing the needs of migrating youth and in harnessing the potential benefits of migration for the local and global community. Through this investigation, this study will contribute to informed policy making and strategic planning to address the complexities of youth migration in the Archdiocese of Thrissur. Next page. Diaconate ministry. One of the unique pastoral experiences for students in Marymatha Major Seminary is the diaconate ministry in the 4th year of theology. 22 4th-year theologians in the batch are undergoing pastoral ministry in different parishes of the Thrissur Archdiocese. We decided to study an area of common concern that needed timely pastoral intervention in those parishes. Interestingly, the topic of our diaconal project this year, as part of our studies, coincided with the theme of this symposium. Thus, we studied the migration of Catholic youth in Kerala, challenges and opportunities, with special attention to the parishes in the Archdiocese of Thrissur. The migration of Kerala Catholic youth is not just a movement from one place to another, but a profound shift that reflects broader socio-economic trends and cultural transformations. This paper aims to explore the various challenges they encounter, such as adapting to new environments, maintaining cultural and religious identities, and dealing with socio-economic pressures. At the same time, the project will examine the opportunities that migration presents, including enhanced educational and career prospects, personal growth, and contributions to both their host communities and their home state. Through this exploration, the research will provide valuable insights into how migration influences not only the individual experiences of the Catholic youth of Thrissur, but also the broader socio-economic and cultural fabric of both their homeland and the regions to which they migrate. By understanding these dynamics, the project aspires to contribute to a more nuanced comprehension of migration's impact and to identify potential pathways for leveraging migration as a tool for positive change and development. While examining the data available for migration studies, we may come across several data sets. The Kerala Migration Survey is one among them. Though such data deals with various aspects of migration, there is no exclusive analysis of challenges faced by Syro-Malabar youth migrants. Therefore, this study is predominantly focused on Syro-Malabar youth in the Archdiocese of Thrissur. May I invite Deacon Jidin Nallanikod to present the methodology.
Good morning, all of you. Let me brief to you the methodology that we have used or employed in conducting this survey. Methodology, the title: Catholic Youth Migration, Challenges and Opportunities for the Church and Society, presentation of a paper on the diaconal project in Thrissur Archdiocese. General objectives: to identify challenges and opportunities of youth migration in the context of Archdiocese of Thrissur. Specific objectives: to identify the reasons for the mass migration of youth in Kerala, to realize the challenges faced by the youth in migration, to identify how often they participate in spiritual activities, to identify the migrated youth's expectations about the Catholic Church's involvement in education, to identify the expectations of the migrated youth about the employment and standard of living in migration, to understand their expectation about the involvement of the Church in their pastoral care and pastoral involvements. Operational definitions. Migration. Generally speaking, migration is the act of moving from one geographical location to another, which can be either temporary or permanent. This includes internal migration within Kerala and external migration outside Kerala. In this project, the term migration refers to the movement of Catholic youth from Kerala to outside India. Youth. There is no universally agreed international definition of the youth. For statistical purpose, however, the United Nations, without prejudice to any other definitions made by member states, defines youth as those persons between the ages of 15 and 24 years. The youth policy in India defines youth in India as being in the age group 15 to 29. In the eyes of the Vatican, a youth is defined as a person between the ages of 16 and 35. The word youth used by Pope Francis primarily means both youth and young adults aged 16 to 18, the age range defined by Christus Vivit. Concerning this, the term youth refers in this study the individuals aged between 16 and 30. Research approach. The project uses a quantitative approach utilizing statistical analysis to objectively measure and analyze numerical data, ensuring precision and reliability in evaluating the study's hypothesis and outcomes. Samplings. This study focused on the diaconal project, which involved 22 parishes, each associated with a fourth-year theologian engaged in diaconate ministry within the Thrissur Archdiocese. The selection of these parishes was not stratified initially. However, for analytical purposes, the researchers categorized the parishes based on size, specifically the number of families. Small parishes with fewer than 500 families, medium parishes with 501 to 1,000 families, and large parishes with more than 1,000 families. Subsequently, responses were obtained from one parish within each category, specifically parish numbered 8, 10, and 12, representing small, medium, and large parishes respectively. This stratified approach facilitates a nuanced analysis of the diaconal project across different parish sizes. Universe and unit. The universe of the project is the youth migrated to outside India. They are being selected from 22 parishes where the deacons are doing their pastoral ministry. Each migrated youth from this parish is a unit of this study. Tools of data collection. The research paper employs a questionnaire for data collection utilizing Google Forms to facilitate the process. This method allows for efficient gathering of participant responses, ensuring accessibility and ease of data management. The digital platform updates distribution and collection, enhancing the overall research methodology and data accuracy. Limitations of the study. Conducting a study using a questionnaire on youth migration and its challenges in Kerala Catholic context could have several limitations. One of the limitations of the study is with the selection of respondents. As mentioned above, we have taken 182 responses which are only from 22 parishes where there is a deacon ministry. As we know, if the questionnaire isn't distributed widely and evenly, certain groups within the population might be overrepresented or underrepresented. Secondly, response prejudice is another limitation of such a study. Some of our youths are reluctant to respond to each questionnaires due to misconceptions related to money orientation and confidentiality concerns. Respondents might be reluctant to share honest answers if they are concerned about confidentiality, especially in an enclosed community. A significant number of potential respondents might choose not to participate, leading to a non-response bias which may create variations in the results. In addition, respondents might give socially desirable answers rather than their true opinions, particularly on sensitive topics related to migration and religious contexts. Thirdly, the questionnaire contained only a limited number of questions where we could not cover the whole challenges of youth migration because of time constraints. Questionnaires generally provide quantitative data which might not capture the full depth and complexity of personal experiences and challenges related to migration. The fourth limitation of our study is temporal limitations. The challenges and perceptions of migration can change over time, and a snapshot from a questionnaire might not reflect long-term trends and issues. In addition, due to time constraints, we were unable to collect a comprehensive data set, and unfortunately, we could not go for a wider database. Finally, although we have made a study on youth migration and its challenges on limited members from parishes, its finding may lead to generalization about the common problems. Therefore, due to these reasons, we cannot generalize youth migration and its challenges. The findings of the project from a specific context like the Kerala Catholic community might not be generalizable to other religious contexts because of the limiting of the broader applicability of the results. Thank you. And the analysis of the presentation and the survey will be done by Brother Tom Leo Jos Thadikaran. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all. First of all, I think this analysis reminds me of a relevant and classic dialogue from Chako Mash in Spadigam. ഭൂഗോളത്തിൻ്റെ സ്പന്ദനം കണക്കിലാണ്. I think it is a very hard task to put into tables and pie charts and maths and numbers the minds of the migrant youth from Kerala Catholic community. But this is a humble attempt at that, and I request all of you to look into this analysis, which might remind you of your old mathematics classes. Okay, I am starting the presentation and analysis of data. The questionnaire was distributed to migrant youth aged 16 to 30 years, including both males and females across different marital statuses. This diverse demographic provides a broad perspective on the needs and expectations of young migrants regarding pastoral care. And there were many highlighted areas, as we can see in the table. And the first highlighted element was the prioritized reason for migration. And in the prioritized reasons for migration, as you can see, the primary driver identified was employment and economic stability. With 49% in the total, we can see the percentage. 49% of the respondents gave first priority to employment and economic stability, and equal 49% for better standard of living, and a 37% for education. And we can see in the next pie chart what all are the next reasons that came about. As we can obviously see or infer from our friends who are migrated, there are many other reasons, like for family reason, for marriage, you can have a better prospect in the marriage market when you are abroad, and the peer pressure, leisure and exploration, family pressure, all these come about as other reasons for migration. And this chart shows the first priority given, the percentage of the first priority selected or chosen by the respondents. And the second element highlighted was the prioritized challenges of migration, which means the challenges during migration when they were in the migrated situation. What were the challenges? And the first one came about was cost of living. Cost of living came about as the first priority, second priority, and third priority of 45% of the respondents. And it is a self-explanatory, as we can see that the cost of living is that much of a heavy burden to all the migrants, all the migrant youth, as we can all, it's self-explanatory. And the second one is, interestingly, it was climate. We have the God's own country, Kerala, and when they go from here, the 39% of the respondents, they gave the first, second, and third priority of their prioritized challenge was climate and the problems that were unfavorable to their health and overall well-being. And they were looking for places to have good climate and ambience. And the third one was language, with 35% of the respondents ranking it as their priority. It obviously leads to an ease of adaptation and ability to navigate new social and professional environments. We need language, so we can see that the prioritized challenge top third one was language. And the next one is the challenges. As we can see, the challenges during migration. The other reasons are also interesting, but also obvious to all of us, like discrimination, food, health, and work pressure, where discrimination comes on about us 5%. Practicing faith life is also mentioned with 6%. Work pressure as 11%, health as 11%, and food as 12%, and others include 3% of the respondents. And another element was active involvement in church-related activities in the migrated country. It has a mixed results, as we can see. 26% of them are actively involved as they respond, and 28% are not involved at all, and 46% are somewhat involved according to the responses. This highlights a potential area for targeted effort to increase participation and address factors contributing to this disengagement. And expectations of youth about the involvement of the church in the field of education. In that area, it was eye-opening to note that most of the respondents, about 45% of the respondents, chose the option that the church should focus on value and ethics in the field of education. And the first, second, and third priority of 45% were this focus on value and ethics. And the second one that came about were scholarships and financial subsidies with 42%. And the third one was the initiate new generational courses. That means the courses that are more adapted to the contemporary challenges and future-oriented skills than the local or the ordinary degrees that most of them do not find any use of. Thus, this analysis shows that church, they expect a holistic support addressing the spiritual, emotional, and mental well-being of students. And we can see other reasons like more efficient infrastructure with 11%, maintain current involvement with no opinion that says 16%. Then there is another option, set a preference for a candidate who is very active in local parish, and pastoral care 6%. Then others with 5%. All these other reasons are regarding education. Then we see that expectation from Catholic Church regarding profession, with career guidance coming on top with 58%, job placement 54%, and reservation for the poor in church-owned institutions, which is a new and upcoming idea for having a reservation for the poor, which also have 53% of the respondents choosing them. And other reasons, other expectations come about as pastoral care 10%, church is not expected to involve, are chosen by 8%, and job placement 24%, and on we can see in the feedback. And the second last finding is that expectations of youth about the involvement of the church in migration, how the church should involve in a general manner. And as we can expect, the spiritual support, which is they are much needed in their crisis situations, in the migrant situation. We can see 51% of them selecting spiritual support, and community support is selected by 46%. They need an inclusive environments, facilitating peer interactions, supportive network with the church helping in that, and career guidance, as 38% have chosen career guidance for the general expectation about church. And there are other smaller reasons, like smaller expectations, like coaching classes, language classes, and there are some also saying no need of support at all. And all these things gather all other reasons or expectations. Then the last one is about the expectation of youth about the involvement of church in pastoral care. I think the next symposium presentation is coming about on this topic, and we don't have a quantitative data on this per se, but a general percentage of this comes on about 31% of the respondents believe that youth prayer gatherings are highly effective. 15.93% of respondents emphasize value of community gatherings, and there are many other areas open for pastoral involvement for the church as well. And now I invite Father Bilju to provide the concluding remarks and the suggestions and the conclusions together with the findings of our diaconal project and survey. Thank you.
While the findings of this study cannot be generalized, they offer valuable insights and suggestions regarding the experiences of migrated youth. Continued online or offline assistance to youth migrants is essential for sustaining Christian values and ethics. Second, continuous youth gatherings and prayer sessions, whether online or offline, are crucial for nurturing and sustaining Christian values among the youth. Third, enhancing the availability of sacraments is vital for deepening spiritual engagement and maintaining the faith life of the community. Fourth, deploying more pastors or missionaries with strong skills and talents is crucial for effectively engaging youth and fostering a sense of community. Fifth, providing scholarships or financial support to the most needy and eligible individuals is essential for ensuring equitable access to education and opportunities. Sixth, offering language and career guidance classes can equip youth with the skills needed to secure job opportunities in their local communities. Lastly, organizing monthly online gatherings for migratory youth initiated by their native parish priest can help maintain connections and provide ongoing support. These are the main suggestions and findings of this diaconal project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Father Bilju Varapalli, brothers Tom Tadikaran and Zidin Nalanikon, for your Diaconate Alanis project and its findings on Catholic youth migration, challenges and opportunities for the church and the society. Father Bilju, as we know, he is the Indian Lutheran Association Secretary, Central Liturgical Member, MEPC Secretary. Then he wrote already 3 books and 75 articles published. Editor of Journal of Encounters and Marymatha publications. At present, he is the vicar at Nelangara Parish. So thank you, Father Bilju. And Deacon Jidan Nalanikon belongs to Vincentian congregation doing diaconate in the Nelangara Parish. and Deacon Thadikaran Tomleo, belongs to Ernakulam Ankamali Major Archdiocese, doing diaconate ministry in Ponganangad Parish. Thank you, dear speakers. Now we have 10 minutes for the discussions, suggestions and questions and clarifications.
First of all, I congratulate every one of you for your research work and the presentation you have made here in between your diaconate ministry. We are dealing with the topic youth migration. My question is this migration, the youth migration, is a threat or an opportunity in our Kerala church? Please comment based on your study. And what do you say about the quest for migration among the youngsters? Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for your wonderful appreciation and observation. Of course, the migration is always a challenge and an opportunity for the church and society. The challenges already mentioned, and all the challenges are not all, but some stratification, some observations we have given. The opportunities when they are there in abroad and they are not willing, some are not willing to come back. If they are not willing to come back, then the church could flourish in abroad and they can make that particular opportunity to develop the particular church in abroad wherever they are. That's why in the inaugural address, Bishop has already informed us, we have different eparchies outside of India. So it is an opportunity. And yesterday in the class also, we have seen migration is an opportunity for evangelization also. So it is clear from the project also. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, fathers and deacons, and I appreciate for your great effort along with this diaconate ministry. My question is on one of the cause of migration. Do you notice or confront with any youngsters that a kind of escapism that the youth moves to the other nations due to the fear of morality or a kind of custom in Kerala or the rigid rules in Catholic Church?
Yeah, the other reasons, we have prioritized the 3 reasons for their going to migration, but we have already mentioned the other reasons. And in the other reasons, one of the reasons of migration is for freedom. In the previous paper, it is said is independence. Okay, they have already mentioned that. So we have given the prioritized reasons, and we discussed here that. I just read page number 7. In addition to these primary reasons, respondents also cited other factors influencing their migration decisions. One, family pressure. Second one, leisure and exploration. And third one, peer pressure. And another one, marriage and migration for family life, etc., etc. So it is there.
Thank you, Father Biljuf and brothers. Very wonderful papers. I am asking a question which may not be directly related to your papers. How about the attitude of the people of the country where, or the place where you are migrating? I mean, how the migrants are treated there. Is there any discrimination like, second class citizens or people? Is there any cases or problems of prejudices towards the migrants from the people of the place where they are migrating?
Father Jose, your observation is correct. There was the implications in the challenges during migration. We have prioritized the language, then cost of living, and climate. These are the three prioritized challenges during migration. Other reasons, and one of the reasons is discrimination. It is 5%. Then other one, practicing faith life, then pressure, then health, then food, and other reasons. So the discrimination is there, 5% from our respondents.
Now let us wind up this session. So thank you, once more thank you, dear speakers. Now let us give a big round of applause. Now we have 15 minutes of coffee break, and the next session will start at 11:45.
For the guests, the coffee and snacks are prepared